In this session we're going to build on all the work we've been doing in this unit, so we're going to be using those ideas of adding and subtracting fractions, and we're going to be applying these to problems that involve measures, and in this case it's going to be money. So today's session we're going to be trying to answer this question of how do I solve problems involving fractions. So opening up our textbook, we can see our first problem relates to this idea of the picnic, and we can see that Lee and Amelia are discussing what they're going to be spending their money on, and Amelia says we have £20 to spend on our picnic, and we will spend 2/10 of that money on juice and 4/10 on fruit. And for question 1a, we've got the idea that Amelia and Lee spend the rest of the £20 note on sandwiches. So what fraction will Amelia and Lee spend on their sandwiches? And when you're looking at working out this question, think about the amount of money they have as a whole. What fraction are we looking at with that whole? What amount of that fraction is going to be spent already, and what amount of that fraction is going to be held back where they can spend on these sandwiches? So think about how we could possibly use our bar model or our number line to help us with this. Now question 1b builds on the idea of question 1a. Question 1a, you've worked out what fraction they are going to spend on their sandwiches, and for question 1b our question is how much money will they have left to spend on sandwiches. So whereas question 1a is looking for a fraction, question 1b is looking for an amount of money. So now I'm going to ask you to go away and you're going to solve these two questions and then return with your strategy. So question 1a, Amelia and Lee spend the rest of this £20 note on sandwiches. What fraction is that? And question 1b, how much money will they have left to spend on sandwiches? So pause the video, go away and solve these two problems, and come and join me when you're ready to look at our strategies. So let's begin by looking at question 1a. Amelia and Lee spend the rest of their £20 note on sandwiches. What fraction is this? Well, our first step with this is to work out what fraction have they spent already. And here we can see that they're spending 2/10 of the money on juice and 4/10 of the money on fruit. So altogether they're spending 2/10 and 4/10. And we can use our number line or our bar model to work out what fraction they are actually going to be spending. So here you can see the whole amount of money. Ignore the fact it's £20. We just know that it's all the money they have, and all that money is broken into our tenths, our 10 equal parts. And now I've shaded the amount that they're going to be spending on juice, 2/10 in red. And then we can see the 4/10 that they spent on fruit is now highlighted in green. So we've got both the 2/10 on juice, 4/10 on fruit, both highlighted, which show me that I've got 6/10 of the money they've spent. And that remaining amount of money, which is now highlighted in blue, is how much they would have spent on sandwiches. And we can see that if we count the blue section, we've got 4 of those 10 parts, or 4/10. So Amelia and Lee spend the rest of the £20 note on sandwiches. What fraction is this? Well, the answer to this is it is 4/10 of the money gets spent on sandwiches. Now let's move on to question 1b. And question 1b is asking how much money will they have left to spend on their sandwiches. So we've already worked out how much as a fraction it's going to be, a fraction of that whole, which would give us the 4/10. Now we're going to be working out what that fraction is of the amount they have for £20. So we're going to be working out 4/10 of £20. So now we can see we've got the bar model again, and what I'm now going to do is I'm going to be able to share my £20, my £21 coins into 10 equal groups. So far I've taken an amount of my £20 coins, I've put 1 in each of my 10 sections to use £10, which leaves me with £10 left. And I'm now going to share those £10 equally amongst those 10 groups. And now shared those final 10, I've got none left. So I've shared all £20 coins amongst my 10 groups, and this is showing me what 1/10 of £20 is, because one of those 10 squares is one of those 10 groups, 1/10. And we can see that in this case, 1/10 is going to give me £2. So 1/10 of £20 is £2. But of course, if we remember from my original answer, from question 1a, I'm going to be looking for 4/10 of those £20, which we can now see highlighted on this bar model. 4 of my 10 parts, £2 in each one, so I can count 4 lots of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8. So 4/10 of £20, the amount we're going to have left to spend on sandwiches, is going to be £8. And for those of you wanting to use your multiplication and division facts for this, I've worked out sort of the idea of 20 divided by 10 to give me 2. So I've divided my amount by my denominator, the £20 divided by the 10 at the bottom of those tenths. Once I've worked that out, it's given me an answer of 2. I'm then going to multiply that amount by the numerator, in this case the 4 of the 4/10. So 1/10 is £2, multiply it by 4 to give me £8, so 4/10 is £8. And we can see that on a bar model, or we can use the abstract method. Now we're ready to apply those strategies to our questions in the remaining part of the textbook before moving on to the independent work. So let's look at the first think together question. Miss Hall buys 12 kilograms of oranges for her class. They use 4/6 of the oranges to make orange juice, and the children eat 1/6 of the oranges. Our first question is what fraction of the oranges are left. So think about the 4/6 and the 1/6 and how many 6 make the whole. Ignore the 12 kilograms at the moment. Just think about those fractions used in the bar model. So what fraction is left? Then once you're ready to do that, when you've worked out what fraction is left, you can move on to question 1b, which is how many kilograms, because now what you're looking for isn't a fraction of an amount. So if we know, for example, we're working with a certain denominator, we can divide that whole amount by the denominator, and then, because we're not using unit fractions but we'll be using non-unit fractions, we can multiply whatever our answer is by the numerator. So give that a go, keep referring back to our previous model should you be getting stuck, but remember, break this up into the 2 parts. Number 1, what is the fraction I'm looking for? Number 2, how do I find that fraction of that amount? So it's 2 different strategies coming together today. So once you've worked through your textbook, then you're ready for that independent work in the workbook. And I look forward to seeing your answers for this one. Good luck.